plants and giving them away. I actually rooted a piece of citronella. Same thing. I bought a citronella plant that I wanted to put on the back porch, and part of it broke. And I was like, huh, I wonder. Put it in some dirt. Now I got 2 citronella plants. Y'all, it is so much fun experimenting and trying new things, not just with propagation, but with different tomatoes, different peppers, different everything. I'm growing eggplant. I don't even know if I like eggplant, but it's fun. It's fun trying the new things, and that's a big part of what I have gotten out of. What's going on, everybody? It is hot in East Texas. I'm talking about heat indexes well over 100 degrees. I think my AccuRite just showed 104 for the feels like temperature. It's a little warm outside. Y'all, this week's video is about a week in the making. I started it last weekend with some harvest clips, and then, well, life happens. So first, I'm going to show you those clips of harvesting last weekend. I did have a really big harvest this morning. That video will come later. But after these clips, I want to talk to you about why in the world I started a garden at 50 years old. So the time has come for our first tomato harvest of 2025. So these here are Sungolds. Let me make sure I'm right on that. Yep, Sungold tomatoes. So pretty. They are splitting a little bit, which I know that is common with the Sungolds, but they're not too terrible. Probably should have gotten these off a couple of days ago. Lesson learned. Go ahead and get all of these that are turning, so I don't have that problem with those. Let those go a little bit longer. So yeah, Sungolds are starting to ripen up. Looks like I got a few more of some others, and I do have a Cherokee Carbon over there we're going to check out as well. All right, so this is a Cherokee Carbon. Hopefully y'all can see that. He is hidden away in there pretty good, but he is ready to come off. And there we go. Cherokee Carbon, he does have some splitting in him as well. So I'm really going to have to start paying a little better attention and catching these guys before they get too far past the breaker stage, so that I don't have the splitting issues. But that's my first Cherokee Carbon ever. Excited to see how he tastes. These dwarf tomatoes over here in this bed are just going crazy. They're putting on so many tomatoes that I'm really having trouble keeping them standing up. They are just absolutely loaded with tomatoes. Look at my little tiny Tim. I mean, just full of tomatoes. Very happy with how my dwarf tomatoes are doing this year. I packed them in here really tight. Probably another mistake, but we will see. But yeah, really having to keep up with them and keep them staked up so that they do not fall over and break. In fact, this one you can see already has, and I'm hoping that it will go ahead and finish out the tomatoes that have weighed it down. This one is a Loxton Lass. It's from the Dwarf Tomato Project. Last fall, I grew these and really fell in love with them for the flavor consistency that they have. Just delicious tomatoes. I'm excited to see this. Because of the Cherokee Carbon splitting, I'm going to go ahead and take this Loxton Lass. I think it's plenty ripe enough, and then I can let it finish off in the house. Hopefully I don't have some splitting, but here goes. My first Loxton Lass of 2025. There we go. So you can see just how beautiful and big these tomatoes are. Now, when he finishes ripening, he'll be a little darker yellow, maybe even have a tint of orange in him. But Loxton Lass, my favorite. This monstrosity of a tomato here is the Everglades tomato. I wasn't sure what I was getting with the Everglades. I knew that it was supposed to be very productive with lots and lots of tomatoes. What I didn't realize was they're tiny tomatoes. I guess these would be like spoon tomatoes, but they've started ripening, and I have quite a few that I've taken off. Hopefully you can see that. I'm just going to take this whole little bundle right here so you can see they are just little tiny tomatoes, yet they are packed with tomato flavor. So good. Got another little bundle of them back here that I'll go ahead and, well, I'll tell you what, not all of those are ready. Have to reach in here and get them. One thing I'm finding is that when I'm harvesting these, they tend to tear. So that's why I was trying to get the whole thing. And I think I will just go ahead and get the whole little truss here. I know I probably got in y'all's way when I cut that, but trying to be gentle with them. There we go. So those are Everglades tomatoes, little tiny, but they are not missing out on flavor. Very good. These are going to go excellent in my salads this week. I have walked by these cherry peppers several times this morning, kind of thinking they were going to turn red, and maybe they would, but I'm seeing some of them are already kind of showing the stretch marks. So I'm going to go ahead and take some of these cherry peppers, try them out, see how I like them. Probably try to pickle them, but I'm trying to pick through and find the ones with the little stretch marks on them. There's several of them. I'll take these and maybe cut them up into something for dinner one night. But man, these are loaded with cherry peppers. I love a pickled cherry pepper. Last year, my cherry peppers were like eating something straight from, well, they were hot. I'll just say it that way. They were very, very hot. So hopefully this year we have some sweet cherry peppers off of these. I'm trying a different brand. Well, actually, I started these from seed last year. My cherry peppers came from big box store, and I'm pretty sure they were mislabeled because they were like eating fire straight off of the sun. Not a bad harvest for East Texas in mid-May. Now, I have been eating some peppers and, of course, beans, but these are my first tomatoes and really the first big haul of peppers for the 2025 season. All right, so the first reason that I started a garden at 50 years old, not having a clue what I was doing, was really for sustainability. My wife and I had been talking about the fact that we bought produce at the grocery store. It just didn't last very long. We wound up, throwing lots of it away, and it's just too expensive to be thrown away all the time. So we had talked about over and over, hey, if we grew our own tomatoes, if we grew our own peppers, then how great would it be to be able to harvest and eat those whenever we wanted? And we could store them, we could can them, we could do what we wanted with those. So I think the first reason that really came to our mind for why we wanted to start a garden, never having done so before, was for sustainability. So, really, I think the second reason that I wanted to start a garden was looking for a project, looking for something to do. I noticed last winter the kids were out of the house, the extracurricular activities, the tennis, the basketball, the football games, Friday night lights, all of that was over. And so, really, I kind of just found myself looking for something that I could do around the house that I would enjoy, something to keep my hands busy. And I decided, ah, let's build a raised bed. So I built my first horseshoe raised bed. And what I didn't realize was how much I was going to enjoy all of the produce that I grew out of that one horseshoe raised bed last summer. And then by the fall, I was finding myself building more raised beds. I knew that I had an interest in woodworking already. My dad is a great woodworker. He builds all kinds of stuff. And it's just something that maybe I was starting to find the time and the desire to do. And so I started buying tools and I started building these raised beds, and I turned one U-shaped raised bed into two, and then turned that into, three more rectangular beds. And now I'm building these planters that I really like. But yeah, so I think being an empty nester, uh, not having all of those extracurricular high school activities to go chase the kids at, I really wanted a project. And I found that building raised beds and gardening was that fulfillment that I was looking for. So I really think the third reason that we started this garden adventure was really for this right here, the sunshine, sunshine and exercise. Um, we're getting older. My wife and I both work in an office. We're inside all day. Um, this is great. This is great exercise. I'm in the outdoors. Where else can you soak up and absorb more vitamin D than from the sunshine? And so I think really one of the things that we were looking to do was to get outside more, to be more active in the outdoors. I've always loved the outdoors. I'm an avid hunter, an avid fisherman, but this gave me a chance to work outside in my own yard other than just mowing, right? I mean, we all mow, and yeah, I do actually enjoy mowing. I know that sounds crazy, but it's true. But gardening gave me that reason to be in the sunshine more, and the exercise that I get walking back and forth to the garage because I never can remember everything that I need. And I say that jokingly, but for real, I think having a garden, being outside, enjoying the sunshine, enjoying growing things, uh, sunshine and exercise really did play a big part in why we wanted to get going with a garden once we turned 50 years old. Love me some blueberries. I think another reason, a fourth reason that we started a garden at 50 was just looking for, a sense of accomplishment, a sense of fulfillment, something that I can do with my hands and I can visibly see my hard work come to fruition. With the kids being out of the house and we're not chasing them all the time, I work in an office. I don't have that tangible successes that I can put my hands on. But with a garden in my backyard that I can tend to and that I can reap the rewards from, I get that sense of accomplishment, that sense of fulfillment. Now, I never dreamed that I would ever grow anything like this when we started. It wasn't meant to be like that. But once I began last year and I really began to um, find the joy in gardening, the drive just got stronger to build more and to be more accomplished in the garden. Now, a lot of this is a result of lots of YouTube study sessions, watching Millennial Gardener, Next Level Gardening, Down Home Backyard Gardening. I could keep going on and on, but I just feel like that is one reason that I really got into this. You know, last year I built the first one and I got to put my hands on those accomplishments and I got to partake in consuming those accomplishments. And I think that is just a fourth reason why I have continued to expand and grow my garden. All right, fifth and final reason we started gardening at 50, it's just fun. And I know that may sound a little silly, but there's a lot of truth to it. Um, I'm having a blast trying to learn new things, experimenting. Y'all, these figs I propagated. I took a literal fig stick, stuck it in some dirt, and am growing fig trees. And I know that sounds simple to a lot of people, but I've never done that before. This was something completely foreign to me, and I have really enjoyed learning new things. I've taken suckers from tomatoes and grown tomato plants and given them away. I actually rooted a piece of citronella. Same thing. I bought a citronella plant that I wanted to put on the back porch, and part of it broke. And I was like, huh, I wonder. Put it in some dirt. Now I got two citronella plants. Y'all, it is so much fun experimenting and trying new things, not just with propagation, but with different tomatoes, different peppers, different everything. I'm growing eggplant. I don't even know if I like eggplant, but it's fun. It's fun trying the new things, and that's a big part of what I have gotten out of gardening at 50 years old is fun. I like the experimentation and seeing what will happen. And there's also the whole community aspect. Next Level Gardening has a gardening community online, and we all discuss the things that we're trying out, the things that we're experimenting, the things that we've learned. We pass on things that we're learning. They've helped me so much just in different aspects that I'm not familiar with. I'm a new gardener. I'm trying to grow and learn, and that's been a lot of the fun to me, is all of the new things that I'm getting to do, the new people that I'm meeting and interacting with. And that is the fifth reason, and there's plenty more, but that's the fifth one I'm going to document here today. So I'll let y'all go with that. I really appreciate you watching. Like, subscribe. Hey, everybody. Thanks for watching.